As we start the roundtable right now, I have a knack of doing this where sometimes I just start the roundtable while we're doing our pre-show because Templar has said something. Yeah, he said something incendiary. Templar, would you like to go ahead and repeat to the class what you just said about our boy Dan Campbell, Man Campbell?
Okay. Just for the record, I love me some MCDC. Okay, on the record, I love MCDC. He's fantastic. I absolutely want Dan Campbell to be the coach of the Lions. I was making a satirical comment, sarcasm about what our topic going into training camp was, or our biggest headline, because I saw some nonsense about people talking about moving on from Holmes and Campbell off-season pre-draft stuff. Like,
it's not working. The project is over.
SOL, the SOL stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and to that I say, phooey, but also welcome to the roundtable, where I'm gonna name this episode probably something like Dan Campbell deserves to be fired, the roundtable.
Just lean into it.
Yeah.
Well, if that title got you here, welcome to the roundtable. We're happy to have you here.
Exactly.
We like Dan Campbell over here, just for the record.
Subscribe for more of these hot takes. No, here on the Roundtable, we do break down a number of things. Last week, we broke down Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and a lot of you responded, so thank you very much for reaching out and responding. Keep those coming. This week, we're taking an entirely different direction, so some of you video game people might hate us. Some of you football people might love us. We're going to break down the draft, but not the NFL draft, I guess I should say, but not in a way that you would expect. We're not really going to talk about the full NFL draft. We will a little bit. But
overall impressions.
Oh yes. And very vague impressions. I do have to say,
yes, very vague impressions.
I do want to give some overall tips and tricks to Pittsburgh next time, if they ever do hold a draft.
Sure.
And, but then we're going to focus in on the Detroit Lions.
You got some feedback for him?
I do have a little bit of feedback. It's mostly good feedback. It's mostly very good. But this is from people on the ground, boots on the ground in Pittsburgh, from people that we know from Lux Digital Church. And then we're going to break down the Detroit Lions a little bit more than that, because both Templar and I are Detroit Lions fans, and we're going to go into that. So if you don't like the Detroit Lions, do us a favor, skip ahead to the end of this video and just give us a like, and then you can click off the video, because we're going to do what we're going to do here. Before
Stick
we get
to the end of the video to find out what I really feel about Dan Campbell.
Spoiler, he still loves him.
I still love Dan.
Dang it, I just gave up the ghost there. Templar is feeling a little under the weather right now, so I'm going to do my best to make sure that he is laughy, happy, clappy, smiley.
Carry me, Chino. I'm in the backpack today, so
you are. I will be the wind beneath your wings.
I'm the 0-10 Yasuo in this episode. You to carry me.
Very good reference. To kick things off, I guess let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft. There's no better place to start than the fact that 9 offensive linemen got drafted in the first round.
Shut out the big boys.
It is, and I wrote in my little notes here, like, what does that say about where the league is going? But I actually don't think it's where the league is going. I think it's where the league has ended up. It feels very much like there's always going to be your Heisman winner. There's always going to be, your runner. Although we can talk about the fact that Diego Pavia,
I was going to say, shout out Diego Pavia. Yeah.
Johnny Mansell Jr. there didn't even get drafted, which I love. But the fact that most of the people on the board, 9 offensive linemen in the first 30 picks, like that's huge. Templar, what does that say about where the league is going or has ended up already?
I mean, it says that people want to invest in their line. I mean, certainly from the Lions, like, they went in needing a tackle.
Yeah.
And they got one, and that's great. I'm happy. But, offensive line is just as important as it's always been. I think also versatility, like, teams want to be able to run the ball. Teams want to be able to, like, we had a running back go 3rd overall. We had how many? Do we have 2? We had 2 first round running backs.
Yep.
Shout out everyone who commented on Jahmyr Gibbs a couple of years ago.
Dude.
Who had many opinions about that. So, You need those strong offensive linemen. You need those solid lines if you want to run the ball. So I think it might signal a bit of a shift there, and just that, yeah, you can get all the wide receivers. Like you can get Chase.
Jamar Chase?
You can get Jamar Chase, but if you don't have Penei Sewell,
yep.
He's just Joe Burrow's just out there getting his leg twisted every other game. So like that, for anyone who's not aware, that was the decision that they had in 2021. They had an opportunity to draft Penei Sewell, arguably the best offensive lineman in the NFL. And they decided to draft Jamar Chase, who is fantastic. No hate to Jamar Chase. But if you can't get the ball to him because you're just like, there's 3 guys tackling you or like blowing you up because your line can defend for half a second, doesn't really matter how good your receiver is.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're just as important as they've always been. And, you can get all the receivers you want, but you still need those big guys.
Yeah, and I think there's an interesting thing. So looking at Penei Sewell, like I love Penei Sewell. I know he was hurt and all sorts of stuff last year, but or last year before. No, last year. He was a little banged up. I think there's an interesting thing where offensive linemen, they're always the big uglies. They always have been the big uglies. But it's you watched the Kansas City Chiefs last year crumble when they lost their offensive line. You watch the fact in the Super Bowl, if you watch the Super Bowl at all, you saw the Patriots two rookies on the offensive line just absolutely getting bulldozed the entire time, like to the point of they weren't even hitting any of their blocks. They were getting pushed immediately off of the snap, which is huge. I think there's an interesting thing happening too in football where we're going back to the run. We're trending away from the pass. Maybe not trending away. We're using the pass differently. It feels a little bit less West Coast and a little bit more Big Ten in terms of where we're headed in offense. And I am a Big Ten guy, and so I don't like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I do. I like fast games, but I also don't like shut up. But also like I don't like the air raid sort of Mike Leach type of college offense. So okay. I think there's something interesting. Speaking of offense, Ty Simpson, the Rams trading up to get Mr. Ty Simpson. And what did you say about Sean McVay earlier?
He seemed thrilled. Sean seemed thrilled about this pick. I'm sure everyone's good. Everyone's on the same page over in Los Angeles. Everyone's on board. Just kumbaya in the Rams facility right now.
Watching that press conference with him was like the funniest thing. Like he was just like, "What do you mean? I'm fine with it. Yeah, maybe we didn't talk, but it's okay. Shut up. Like he's gonna be fine." To me, that screams like a pick. Like, Sean McVay's not going to be there next year. That screams like one of those picks. Like he's going to retire.
Think he exits with Stafford? Do you think if Stafford retires, McVay just goes with him?
I think that here's the Sean McVay Les Snead thing. Like Sean, he's got that 1,000-foot stare in his eyes. It's just like, I can't believe you. Like, what are you even doing here? I think personally he's not there in a year or two. I know Sean McVay, he had flirted with retiring a couple years ago anyway and going into the media. I think he'd be great in the media. Like I love his like sort of no nonsense. He's like a younger Dan Campbell. I think he's more eloquent than Dan Campbell.
Yes.
But
brother.
Yes. But like he's got that hard-nosed thing. And so like I think he'd be good in the media. I think he doesn't last another year or two. And the Ty Simpson thing seems to be like this is Les Snead saying like, hey, I'm going to be here for a little bit and you're not. So I'm going to go over your head and draft. Now, the interesting thing is Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the roster in LA. I say what you will about Jimmy G. That guy knows how to hang around and make a buck.
Yes.
But
shut up.
Yeah, you make your money, man. But they say that they're backing him. So like, I don't think Ty Simpson plays this year. And if he does play, like it's been a very bad year for the Rams. So yeah, I don't know. Thoughts?
It's interesting. I hadn't really considered that in terms of that McVay might be out. I mean, Stafford, you have to feel like doesn't have that many more years left. Like, I'm amazed that he's still playing and he still played last year, like at a very high level.
And he was like the second. He was like the best, if not the second best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I think he was. I mean, he was awesome, and he's 38, and he just has been 38, I think, or 39.
Yeah, 38.
And he's just been so beat up over his career. So the fact that he's still going out there and doing it, like, I mean, maybe he pulls a Brady, but I can't. Like, he's just been so much more heavily beat up over his career. I can't see him playing until his like early 40s.
No,
I have to feel like this is it. Maybe 1 or 2 years, and then he's out.
Yeah.
I mean, and not a bad guy to learn under. Like, you know, Stafford's relationship with Detroit has gotten weird since he left, but certainly seemed like often seems like a pretty decent guy. Ty Simpson could learn under him. I mean, it's not crazy to draft a quarterback, but if McVay thinks you have a couple of years with Stafford, you want to build up what you have now, not draft a guy that maybe plays in 2 or 3 years. Like, it's a bit of like the Atlanta
Kirk Cousins,
getting Kirk Cousins and then drafting
Michael Penix. Yeah.
It's like, we already have it. Like, unless they have for some reason think that Stafford's like done after this year and you need it, and maybe they don't like the QBs in next year's class. I don't know. So
yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Like, Ty Simpson, he's a good quarterback. Like, I think he looks very much like an Alabama quarterback, you know, like he's just kind of he is your prototypical 6'2", 208. Like, he's going to stand back there and sling it. I know he can run, but he's going to stand back there and sling it, and he'll be fine. I do think, though, that the Rams were the best team in football last year. I know that they didn't win because playoffs be playoffing, but I think they were the best team in football last year. I think they possibly missed an opportunity to shore up their offensive line to make sure that Stafford stays around for another year. So maybe that's what McVay was thinking. Because I don't think Stafford can handle another year of getting blown up. 38, he's got the body of a 68-year-old. You know, he's got he feels like he always has broken ribs. It feels like he's always nursing a knee injury and probably a broken thumb at some point throughout the year. So, I do want to talk briefly about winners and losers. The biggest losers of the draft. What do you think?
The Cardinals just re-signed James Conner, right?
Oh, did they?
I thought he was up for it because I knew there was some talk about the Lions maybe going after him. I don't know. Maybe they didn't extend him. But when I saw this, like that they drafted Love at 3, it's like, I thought they just extended.
You're right.
Oh, it was just 1 year.
Just 1 year, yeah.
Okay, so he went back for 1 year. Okay, so that's fair enough then. I guess they bring in Love for the long term then.
Yeah.
So that was a weird one. Like, the Cardinals in general, though, I think are kind of losers out of this.
Yep.
I mean, running back, that's great. Who is their quarterback? Who's the starting quarterback for Arizona?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
Oh, they found them in this draft, right? The starting quarterback for Arizona?
No. It was hold on. We're gonna
it was Kyler Murray who's in
no, it was Jacoby Brissett. They ended the year with Winshew. Winshew ended up playing a game because I think Jacoby went down.
Sure. Gardner, shout out.
Yeah.
But then they got Mr. Carson Beck himself.
They did.
In a very strange selection that I think people were a little baffled by. So
yeah,
I don't know what the Cardinals are doing.
They don't either.
Even if like Love is a great player, which I assume if you take him at 3, he is a great running back, but is your team a running back away from being competitive? Is that what your biggest need was?
They don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if you look at, say, the Raiders last year, you can see kind of what happens when you draft a running back to a team that is like 20 players away from being good, and he just can't really do anything because his offensive line just implodes.
Yep.
And maybe the Cardinals' offensive line is okay. Maybe it's better than I think it is. I know they have a couple of decent guys. Yeah, Genty last year. Mm-hmm. The Raiders coming out of this year, I think, did pretty good in terms of winners. Like, I know they've been getting pretty consistently hyped. Obviously, you have Mendoza, but Stukes, the corner, Crawford, addressed guard. They had a lot of picks too. They had just like a ton of guys. And so, you know, try to get someone in there opposite Crosby.
Yep.
Beef up the secondary, beef up the offensive line. Obviously, you hope that Mendoza is the quarterback that you would want him to be. Like, hopefully he's that guy for you. You know, the Raiders might not be in a terrible spot, and we don't know where the Chiefs are. I mean, obviously they were bad last year. They also had a good draft. Like, they also got a lot of love for their picks. So, you know, they might, you know, maybe they're back, but it's still a tough division. You know, Denver's very good. I mean, Denver should have been in the Super Bowl, but for Bo Nix getting hurt. So still competitive, but the Raiders might be able to make a little noise there. So, you know, hey, winners, Cardinals, I don't know what you're doing. Vikings, you should have a GM before you go into an NFL draft. Like, I don't know a lot about drafting. I don't know a lot about managing a football team. Genuinely, I don't. I'm not trying to be a Monday morning quarterback to be like, yeah, but like, even I would know, like, yeah, guys, you should probably you should probably choose a GM and have him there before the draft. Because otherwise, what are you doing? You're just drafting on committee. Like, who is making these picks? Is KOC making the picks then? I don't know, man. But like, they consistently, and I'm not mad at it. I mean, shout out the NFC North competition. Yeah. So I'm not mad at them having a terrible draft. And to be fair, Caleb Banks, like, he's kind of a boomer bust guy. But when you have a guy who's like 340 pounds and has had 2 broken feet or whatever in the last couple of years, yeah, that's tough. Like, big guys are hard on their feet. Like, and that feels like that could just go poorly. But like, from my understanding, if he does come back from that, he could be one of the best players in this draft. So it might work out for them. But like, what are we doing, Vikings? Again, I'm good with it. By all means, like, please continue. What is the Napoleon quote? Don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Yeah. If their enemy's making a mistake, don't interrupt them. Like, have at it, guys.
Speaking of the NFC and the NFC North in particular, let's move to our beloved Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions had a very interesting draft. They had, what did they have? 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 6 picks overall. They didn't have any pick in round 3. But talk to me a little bit about the Detroit Lions pick, starting with Blake Miller in their round 1. An offensive tackle. Do you think that he's the Taylor Decker replacement that we've been looking for?
I think they move Sewell to left, and then he's the right tackle, because he played like 50 plus games. He only played right tackle. He played like 100 snaps at left tackle for Clemson. He played 50 plus games at right tackle. He had something like 4,000 or 5,000 snaps at right tackle. Like, from what I understand from, again, this isn't my analysis, but just from seeing a lot of the analysis coming out of this, if there's ever a guy who's kind of just plug and play, he's plug and play. Like, obviously he'll have some growing to do. He needs to get stronger. He has to learn some stuff. He's going to be against harder competition in the NFL. But in terms of guys you can just bring in and be like, hey, go play right tackle, Blake Miller's that guy. So for a team that, seemingly at least anyway, didn't win 3 games last year. They won 9 games. They were like half a game. You know, the Packers made it at 9 with a draw. Like, they were like, the Lions were right there. You need to get a little better. You need your offensive line to be better. So you move Panay to left. He played left tackle in college. Yes, it's been a while, but I believe in his ability to do that. Yep. Tristan Wirfs did it. I think there's precedent for it. I think Panay will absolutely put in the work to do that. Miller basically just slots in at right tackle. You have a good offensive line coach to get him like ready to go. Shout out Hank Fraley. And so I think it makes sense. And from my understanding, the guys over at Pride of Detroit, I really like them. They do, Eric Schlitt over there, he does a grit index, they call it. Yep. He calls it, which is like the Lions always talk about grit. So this is the like ranking of the players based on that. And Miller was the number 1 OT and on the grit index. So interesting. Makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense. You move Sewell to left, you slot Miller in at right, and you go with it. Plus, he's durable. He missed like 1 practice in 4 years, never missed a game. Yeah. Like, which for Lions fans, like, any guy who's durable and doesn't have like 12 things that he has in his injury history that Brad Holmes is like gambling on, like, bring him in. Yep. Please.
Sign him up. The Derek Moore as an edge rusher, I think Derek pairs perfectly with Hutch. I think that's what we need. We've seen that Hutch he's not injury prone necessarily. He just feels like he's got a big injury all the time. But seeing him in the second round, seeing him still available in the second round. He was the last kind of elite edge rusher. They traded up to get him. Like, I think that says a lot about how much they value Hutch, which of course they value Hutch because he's freaking amazing, but also he's going to need a little bit of support. And so I think you put these guys both out there and they do well. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there was like him, and there was like three guys in that range that were all considered in like similar tier. The one guy I think the Ravens ended up taking was one I know a lot of people were higher on in terms of just raw kind of ability, but he's another one like the guy from last year who fell to the Ravens in the second round that has like a lot of off the field concerns. And so I know, again, some people were saying like, oh, the Lions missed out on Zion Young. The Lions missed out on him. It's like, they didn't miss out. I doubt he was on their board. Like, you can disagree with that, but like he had a DUI and he's had some other issues off the field, and like they're just not interested in those guys. So Derek Moore, though, super high character guy from my understanding, can play the run and the pass, although I've heard some differing opinions on that about how well he does each of those things. Like a little smaller than maybe they normally go with, but like kind of seems like a bit of a lighter version of like a Josh Pascal. Can set the edge in the run, can collapse the pocket, big power guy, not like real bendy, like it isn't really going to turn the edge on you, but can just kind of go through tackles and that. So seems good. I like, you put him out there with Hutch, and Hutch is great, but like he plays like 95% of the snaps. Like when you have a guy who's out there so often, like, yeah, he gets banged up. This is a guy who can spell him a little bit and be out there with him. And I think you put this with like the DJ Wanham that they brought in, which we haven't talked about like off-season acquisitions, but who's more of a hard edge setter, run defender guy. And then now you have this guy who can push the pocket more. It makes sense. Like, I think Brad Holmes to some extent was probably like, fine, are you happy now? I drafted an edge rusher. Like I drafted an edge rusher before the 6th round when I got Hassanin last year. So like, I like the pick. Michigan's good. I feel like I did hear a little bit about his sort of motor concerns, maybe. That's not going to be a problem on the Lions, I don't think. Like, this guy's not going to be opposite. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But if that is an issue, like opposite Hutch, it's not going to be. Hutch is like the high effort guy. He's not only that, but he is that. So that ain't going to be happening. So I like it. Like, it's meat and potatoes, this draft. At least with these two first picks, it's meat and potatoes.
Well,
you can
get
slot Blake Miller and you can slot Derek Moore in. I think he'll just be okay right out of the gate. You know, might start the season as the technical like number 1 or number 2 edge rusher opposite Hutch, and then on third downs maybe you bring in Moore to like rush the passer more. But I think he's going to play a lot this year.
I agree. Speaking of Wolverines, Jimmy Roller as well. Not really a whole lot. I'm
upside.
I'm wearing my Michigan hat right now. I bleed maize and blue. I think it's a solid pick. It's
upside. It's an upside pick.
It is 100% upside.
He only started 1 year. So from my understanding, he kind of got better each year. Kind of exploded in this past year, like really good. But he only has 1 year of starting. But apparently they like a lot of what they saw. Sounds a little bit like the Jack Campbell pick in the sense that he's kind of a thumper. Like he's a downhill.
Yes.
Maybe coverage isn't really his thing. Maybe some zone stuff, but like not really. But again, it seems like he's just ascending. So I think they're banking on. And in the 4th round, 118, I'm not mad at them picking, like, linebacker is a position of need. I'm not mad at them picking a guy who they think they can develop. Obviously, Shep is a linebacker guy who's linebacker's coach. So I'm for it. I think it makes sense. I think they're rolling the dice a little bit. The first two were very meat and potatoes. This one's a little spicier in terms of it could kind of go either way. Maybe he just ends up being a special teams ace. Maybe he ends up contributing something on defense. So we'll see. But I don't mind the risk in the 4th round.
No. Also, we skip the 3rd round. Keith Abney as the corner. This is the guy that I read a decent amount about, and I don't usually read a decent amount about round 5 picks. Everything that I saw said that he was a steal. Now, admittedly, I don't watch much of Arizona State football, so I don't know. But everything I saw that said he was a steal, he's a culture fit. He is a high motor, coach's son. You know, let's throw out all the cliches right there. He's gritty, gutty, determined, yada yada yada. Gonna go out and bite your ankle. But this is a Dan Campbell pick.
Dan Campbell guy. Yep.
Yeah, and like I think we need that out on the outside right now because we're going to talk about Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch in a little bit. I know as safeties, but especially in coverage, I think we're going to need a little bit of help over the next couple of years.
Well, I don't know what's happening with Terrion Arnold because DJ Reed was okay, but I think the system change, from my understanding, maybe was not so great for him coming to the Lions in terms of what he was being asked to do, just playing all the press man stuff. Terrion, I mean, he says he's healthy and like that's good. I guess he's been dealing with some injuries, but I don't know if that legal stuff is passed or not. Like, because I know he didn't get charged yet, at least anyway. But I don't know if that's passed because if he gets charged, I feel like they'll probably cut him. I think they've pretty much made it clear that they're not. Lions believe Terrion Arnold was not involved. Okay, something walks away from Lions draft unscathed. Somehow walks. Okay. All right, so I guess he'll be out there. So yeah, Keith Abney, I'm the same as you. I everything I heard about this was steal, certified steal. Like I heard some people saying he's like a top 50 pick, top 50 like player in this draft. That they really have no idea why he fell, other than like he's kind of undersized. He's like 5'10" or something, and like 185 or something in that range. And it's like, okay. The one thing I've heard about this though, which has brought up some questions in terms of analysis that I've heard, is that the Lions might be changing things up decent defensively in terms of scheme. Because from my understanding, he is not a man corner. He's a zone off, like 7 yards off the line, kind of read and react kind of corner, which is not the system the Lions play. The Lions play press man generally. That's what they have played. Yeah. But I don't know what the system was that DJ Reed ran with the Jets, so I can't say for sure. But maybe the Lions are thinking about switching it up and doing more zone concepts. Abney, I think, will come in and compete for the nickel spot. Yes. I think he's going to come in and compete with like Roger McCreary, who also they brought in the offseason, who was supposed to be pretty solid. Nickel safe, I think, has safety versatility. They brought in another guy that was also kind of a nickel / safety. I'm blanking on his name right now. So I think he'll be in that mix for the nickel, sort of the Amik Robertson replacement in some ways, maybe if he wins out the competition. Yeah. But also apparently people believe, I've heard some people say that he can play outside. So again, but from my understanding, he is not a man corner. He's a zone corner. So I don't know if that indicates that the Lions are changing things, if maybe they're nickel or if they're going to do more of like a mixed type of setup. But I think it's great. They needed a corner. They need a nickel with Amik Robertson leaving. I think having more competition there, there's always a ton of injuries in the secondary with the Lions. So I think having another body there of a guy who knows what he's doing and seems like he was very highly regarded. Sweet. 5th round. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm not going to pay him a whole lot. Kendrick Law, not a whole lot to say. I watched some of the stuff on him. They said that, what was the quote I had? He's a receiver in a running back's body. Like, yeah. Okay, cool. 5th round.
This is, I mean, to me, this screams like special teams ace / maybe Khalif Raymond. Kind of, maybe not replacement, but like he's going to be your returner, maybe on punt, maybe punt kick return. He's probably going to be coverage on those as well. And then maybe they'll have some gadget stuff for him on offense. Like, because from my understanding, he's a bit of an Amon-Ra St. Brown type in the sense that he's kind of a little stockier, not as fast, but he's like good at making people miss. And so, maybe, I mean, that from that quote, that's kind of joking around, but like, it might make sense that they'll do some end around stuff or some like gadget stuff, some bubble screen stuff. Because from my understanding, that's a lot of what he did at Kentucky, right? He's like Kentucky. Was screens and just kind of get him the ball in space, which the Lions love to do that, right? They love the yak stuff. So makes sense. Again, similar to Rolder, like if he just ends up being a special teams ace, there's value in that too. But I think they need solid returners. What's his name? Grant Stewart left, so they can't roll Grant Stewart out there at punt kick return anymore.
That's fine. It'll be fine just to watch him get clobbered every now and then. And then Skylar Gill-Howard to finish up. This is our last pick of the thing. Whatever. I know nothing about him. Sorry, I have nothing to bring to the conversation.
There's one more.
Oh, that's right, Tyree West. Yes.
So Tyree West is probably like a practice squad guy. I don't know. Like he's a 7th round pick. My understanding, he's a bit of a tweener. Like he's kind of a tackle edge kind of hybrid sort of guy. So maybe they have something there as like a big edge sort of player and just kind of get him in the rotation. I mean, who knows if he even makes the team, a 7th round pick, you just don't know.
Yeah.
The other guy, from my understanding, like actually maybe has some upside. Skylar Gill-Howard. Apparently his story's great. He's a real Lionsy guy. And I guess they had a ton of great players on that Texas Tech defense, but from my understanding, he's like a genuinely solid sort of 3rd down pass rushing DT. So like he's like 280 pounds, so he's not like a huge guy for a defensive tackle, but he's good on 3rd down and he can rush the passer. Like that's my understanding. So he's another guy that's going to compete with like your Mekhi Wingos of the world to be in that rotation on 3rd down and try to bring some heat. So for that in the 6th round, like my understanding is he might actually have some upside. So I like it.
Awesome. Also, I'm not sure who this is announcing him, but congratulations, Skylar Gill-Howard. That was the Lions overall. I think you said meat and potatoes. I think that was the name of the game. Brad Holmes. Yeah. I'd say it's a solid like B of a draft.
B minus. It's fine. It's good.
I think the Lions are. My faith was restored in this draft after I got pretty beat down last year about the rough. Lions. It was not the year that we expected.
Nope.
And not that any one of these guys is immediately going to come in and change. Maybe Blake Miller is going to come in and change everything, but I think it offers depth because the Lions. They were hit or miss like the first probably 8 games of the season. They would look really good. And then like the next week they would look like, oh my gosh, you're the Buccaneers from the 90s or you're the old Lions. Like this is what I remember growing up watching with just one good player out there and Barry Sanders and then Scott Mitchell heaving the ball down to Herman Moore, trying to find the end zone.
Yeah.
Although Herman Moore, man, he was pretty good. He didn't get a whole lot of...
Herman Moore was good, but I mean, the offensive line, if your offensive line is that bad, you just can't get him the ball, right? And he was still good. He does like commentary for the Lions, right? He does it with Dan Miller. He's good on that.
Yeah. That's a good memory.
That's him, right? That's not the deep tackle. It is him, right?
No, that's Herman, yeah.
Because I know there's the edge rusher who's also around, the old school Lions edge rusher who's also around. But yeah, it is Herman Moore.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this kind of restored my my faith in the Lions. I also am kind of cautiously optimistic that the rest of the NFC North didn't get stronger. Like it felt like the Lions did the job in the NFC North.
Yeah, I mean the Packers didn't have a 1st round pick. I don't know a lot about what their draft looked like. So, I mean, it seems like they have decent grades for it. So that's good for them. I mean, obviously the big one was they brought in Micah, right? So it's all just like a lot of it is riding on that. Is Jordan Love still the guy, or is he ever been the guy?
He's not going to be the guy. I will tell you. Like I'm fine. Once again, the Napoleon quote, like don't step in front of the enemy when they're making when they're the ones making the mistakes. Like Caleb Banks is pretty good, I will say. Like that's a solid pick, and they did need a defensive tackle.
Well, I mean that's the boomer bust pick, right? Like
yes,
because if his foot doesn't heal properly, or if he has consistent foot issues at his size, it's just never going to work out.
Yep. And then I think the only other pick that I think might work out well is Sam Roush, the tight end from Stanford. I know he's 3rd round, but Chicago surprised me. I think they surprised a lot of people last year, and giving them giving that entire offense just another little option, I think is going to do better because the defense wasn't bad. Their offense kind of struggled. You could definitely tell 2nd-year quarterback, like trying to make some things happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd be scared about Chicago, but overall, like I think out of the NFC North, I think the Lions are like they had a better draft than everybody. And that's because they essentially had a better, like the Lions were the class of the NFC North. They just kind of sucked in like big moments last year, but the team overall is pretty good.
The team's good. Yeah. The offensive line was just rough, and Goff had a pretty decent year, even with the offensive line struggles, but I think this will help. I mean, obviously, but I think you move Sewell to the left, you slot Miller in at right. Ratledge, I think, will be fine at right guard. I think he'll continue to improve. He's solid. And then they brought in Cade Mays, right, to be center, who might not be ranked. He's not going to be Frank Ragnow, but he's going to be better than Graham Glasgow. I can tell you that. So the only like spot is maybe left guard. There's going to be a bit of a bloodbath there to see whether it's Mahogany, whether it's Frazier, whether it's Scruggs they brought in from the Texans, or whoever ends up slotting in at left guard. But you will be next to now a veteran. Well, I guess Glasgow was a veteran, but he was just bad. In Mays, I'm sorry, Graham. I like Graham Glasgow.
He's just old,
but he was just, he's an older guy. He just wasn't doing it. I'm sorry. But Cade Mays is supposed to be pretty solid, and then he'll have Panay on his left, so that certainly helps. So I think they'll be better on the offensive line. Will be better. They have all the weapons in the world. They have the guys for the most part on defense. I'm worried about the safeties, just health-wise, and I'm worried a little bit about the linebackers. I mean, I know Jack Campbell really ascended, but I've never been sold on Derek Barnes. I know the Lions love him, and I just don't really he seems like a great dude. He just doesn't seem like a great football player, so I don't understand their love for him. And then Rodrigo, fine, but he's just not a replacement for Anzalone. So coverage-wise, certainly. So I'm worried about our safeties and our linebackers, but our defensive line, again, I've heard some speculation that they might be changing up the system. So that might be, but I do feel like they kind of need another nose tackle or like another big guy to bring in. Cause right now they pretty much just have Tyleek Williams. Like Roy Lopez went back to Arizona, and DJ Reader, I think, is a free agent still, or maybe he went somewhere. So like they really only have Tyleek, who's the kind of big guy in the middle, like the run stuffer. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in another guy like that. I haven't looked that close at their undrafted free agents in terms of if there's anyone there who could maybe step in, but my expectations for them, I mean, they didn't get drafted, so it'd be fairly low.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I think the Bears are good. They're the biggest threat. The Packers, I mean, if Micah stays healthy, you never know. They looked scary to start the year, but yeah, I just think Love's not really the guy, and I just think it's ultimately not going to work out for them. Yeah. And the Vikings, I have no idea what they're doing, so
they don't either. So it's fine.
I think the Lions are the favorites to win right now. I think from the betting odds. So like, hey,
let's keep it up, boys.
But yeah, so you mentioned this before we started that Brad Holmes made a comment about the safeties.
Yes.
Can you go over what that was? Can you mention what Brad Holmes said about the safeties?
Brad Holmes, in his infinite wisdom, and I like Brad Holmes. I think
let Brad cook.
I think like give him the money and give him the time, and he'll hit the nail on the head 75% of the time. He did say that Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are trending in the right direction.
What a ringing, very clear, clearly articulated endorsement that they'll be ready, right? I saw this reporting on that comment. I'm like, are we kidding? That's nothing. That's coach speak. That's GM nonsense. That's
word
like,
salad.
That doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. It's like they're trending in the right. Well, I would hope so. That would otherwise they'd be getting worse. Are they getting more injured in the offseason? Like that would be unfortunate. Like, yeah, of course they're trending in the right direction. Is Kirby Joseph is his career done? Is he going to play again? Like, is his knee issue career ending, or at least career limiting forever now? Like, is this a Frank Ragnow toe thing instead of it's a knee and he's done basically? Branch will be back, but it's an Achilles tear and he tore it late in the season. So, that's, I have no idea, but week 6, maybe those take a long time to come back from. And he's in a position that is all about change of direction. So I have to believe they'll be very cautious bringing him back to avoid a sort of injure the other Achilles. I think they'll be very cautious bringing him back. So I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see Branch for 2 months.
Yeah.
But I think Branch will probably be okay. I hope. Joseph is the one I have a big question about, but that means maybe Joseph will start the season, but he missed almost the entire year with whatever this knee issue is. So that one concerns me. But yeah, this Brad, I saw reporting on this quote that it was indicating something significant, and I just don't think it is indicating anything significant. Of course they're trending in the right direction. What else is he going to say? Yeah,
I would hope so. They didn't pick up anybody in the draft. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of strong safety, weak safety, any sort of safety out there. So it was a lower draft for safeties, but they didn't really pick anything up. And I almost wonder, are they going to be in the free agent market more? I mean, we got Christian Ezian and Chuck Clark, but
Ezian, yeah, he's a guy I think who has corner or like nickel safety versatility. And then they like Harper and they like Maddox. I think both as sort of potential safety.
I don't like Maddox, man.
Harper, I think, is okay.
Yeah.
And then they also brought back the guy that they got from the Eagles, who he's a corner, but I know he has some safety versatility as well. Why am I blanking on his name? He's Rocky Sin. Okay. I know he has some corner or some safety versatility as well. So like, is it going to be great to start the season? I mean, if Joseph can play and he's okay, then awesome. Branch, I mean, we're gonna have to wait a while. Like Branch isn't going to be ready. So
yeah, Rock Sin, man, I haven't heard that name in a while.
He was pretty solid for them last year. I mean, they had so many secondary injuries that I just don't know. But I don't feel great about their secondary.
No. I don't
corner, but I feel okay-ish about it. It's fine. Like, again, maybe change the scheme up a little bit and don't just ask them to run press man all the time.
Well, and maybe you talking about zone, like maybe that's what it is, that they're just trying to relieve a little bit of pressure on their safeties. Because when you do play zone, your corners drop a little bit more. Now, granted, you have to have linebackers that can cover more in zone. So like maybe you're not really going to be asking Hutch to like drop because he's an edge rusher. You're not going to be asking anybody else to like do stuff. So like you're kind of up the creek. So you almost wonder, like, are they going to go out and try to grab somebody else other than Wanham, other than I don't even know, like Terrion Arnold, like do they bring somebody in? The market's still wide open there, and we've still got another month and a half till OTAs. So who knows?
If I had to guess, like without any kind of knowledge about it, I think they maybe switch to more nickel stuff this year.
Yeah.
Because previously they've been we're going to play base defense team. Mm-hmm. Like we're going to have four down linemen. We're going to have our 3 linebackers. And Jack Campbell can do the zone stuff. He's good at that. Mm-hmm. He can kind of drop. He's not a man-to-man, although he did some of that last year and he looked good. I mean, Jack Campbell just like,
he's good.
Man, shout out Iowa, man. He was like, without Fred Warner, I'm shutting out a lot of people this episode. Without Fred Warner, he was the best linebacker in the NFL last year.
Yes.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yes.
Remember 2023? When
I do.
Jack Campbell in the first round.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Overall, Jack, what are we doing? Jameer Gibbs and Jack Campbell?
Yep.
Get wrecked.
Yeah. Suckers.
Maybe second best linebacker in the NFL and a top 5 running back. Arguably the most explosive running back in the NFL.
Yep.
So, hey, man. But yeah, I think they run more nickel. I think they either put Rockius in or like a third safety, do like a big nickel type of stuff maybe.
Yeah. And
they try to defend the run with nickel more instead of base. This is all just speculation on my part, but I know they like Rodrigo, but like to me, Rodrigo, just like, I know he was big in his first year. He's a special teams guy. Like he's just not a guy you want out there all the time on defense, I don't think. And he could surprise me and I would love to see it, but I just don't believe in him as a consistent presence on defense. I just don't. I'm sorry.
I agree. All right. Anything else to clean up before we get out of here?
Yeah. Did any of the offseason like acquisition, free agent stuff stand out to you? It was a fairly like mean potatoes offseason acquisitions. Like obviously we had Cade Mays. They got Larry Borum in, I was very concerned if he was going to be the starting right tackle, but with Miller now Borum's the swing tackle, and that's okay. I think like have Borum as your swing tackle, and then no more Skip. Skip's a coach now. Yeah, so I guess he'll be the jumbo package guy as well.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, like I don't know. We could talk about Isaiah Pacheco because I think that's fascinating to me. It's fascinating, honestly. Like.
That
and Tyler Conklin
back in the NFL.
Yes, he is. Tyler Conklin and I think Cade Mays. Like I think those are
Cade
Mays
good pickups. I think he's a solid center. The Panthers, like I don't know how good the rest of their line was. I know there was some criticism of it, but like from my understanding, at least as a pass blocker, he's quite good.
Yes.
So that's great. We need to protect Jared. Mm-hmm. You know, the running game might still be a little bit. But, you know, you kind of trust if you can get a little bit of an opening that Gibbs can kind of make something happen. Pacheco, I mean, they're hoping to see 23 Pacheco, right? Not 24, 25 Pacheco.
Yes.
I guess he's dealt with a bunch of injuries. Mm-hmm. I think they also like Sione Vaki maybe more than people are considering.
I agree.
and as a third running back. And then they still have Old Faithful. What's his name?
Jabari Small?
No, he was a USFL guy though, right?
Yeah, he was. I love that guy.
No, who's the third? He's always the third down running back. Oh, I feel bad forgetting his name. He was
Kyle Robichaud?
No, he didn't leave, right?
I'm looking at their depth chart, and it's Jacob Sailors is like the only other one.
Is that it? They didn't let him go, did they?
Yeah, he's gone.
What's his name? Craig Reynolds. No, he's still there. Craig Reynolds is still there. Or is he
not
gone?
On their depth chart? Yeah, he's not on the depth chart.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Ourlads depth chart, and I trust the Ourlads stuff.
Yeah. He played. Oh, he's a free agent.
Yeah,
he signed with the. Oh, really?
He only had probably 50 yards.
He signed with the Patriots.
Oh,
I didn't even realize he had left. Man, I obviously wasn't paying attention.
Do you want to pour one out?
He was never like great, but he was a guy who could just come in and get you a little, like, couple of yards. You know, with the step back of the offensive line. I mean, he's not going to do a ton for you on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a guy when their offensive line was great. I mean, he could go out there and get 4 or 5 yards because, like, I could probably get 3 behind the line that they had for a while. Like, maybe 2, but I could fall forward for 2, I think, behind Frank Ragnow and like a couple of those guys that were
when
there.
He was healthy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when he was healthy. Oh, I forgot that Reynolds left. That's too bad.
Yeah.
So but I think they like Sione Vaki and Pacheco. Yeah, they're hoping that he's bounced back from the injuries. Montgomery, I mean, that situation unfortunately seemed like got a little messy, but I wish him well in Houston. I liked David. Maybe he wanted a little more money. Like, obviously they wanted to go more towards Gibbs. I don't blame them. It is what it is. So yeah, I think the offseason, much like the draft, was a very meat and potatoes offseason. You plugged some holes, you brought in a center you needed. They have so many contracts they've handed out that they really can't afford to. They couldn't afford any like big money. You know, they were never going to get Trey Hendrickson or whatever. I would have loved it. We've talked about it in the past because that's been an ongoing conversation for however long, eternity, 20 years at this point, of them getting Trey Hendrickson. But like, it just, so they. And now they still have to pay Jack Campbell. Like, I assume they did the 5th year with him, but they're going to have to pay Campbell. And he's going to get top of market money if they pay him, which I assume they will. He's going to get Fred Warner money.
He should get Fred Warner money.
He should. He should be in that range anyway. And then Gibbs, they also have to pay. And then Branch, this is going to be his last year now, coming up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they're going to. I mean, I'm assuming they'll wait with the Achilles stuff to see what happens with him, but
my prediction is Branch gets let go at the end of the year.
I would hate to see him go, man. I like Branch.
I like him, but I think he's,
man, between the two of them, I wish they had paid Branch over Joseph. I know Joseph was here earlier, but I'd rather have Branch than Joseph. I like him. I know he gets a lot of picks, but he's a deep safety. Like, that's what he does. And he can do some other things, but Branch can kind of do it all.
Branch has been hurt for longer than Joseph has, though. That's been the thing.
He's been banged up here and there, but he's also had to getting kicked out for like the helmet to helmet stuff, and I know he's had more fines and like that sort of thing. But man, he's like a sort of Kyle Hamilton light, and it's hard to replace that kind of versatility. So I would hate to see him go, but yeah, he might. Yeah, he might. I don't know how they can pay everyone. Like, they can't pay everyone, so I don't know what they're going to do.
No, that's why they just keep releasing guys and picking up free agents and hoping that they can spend it on the cheap and pay big. You pay 5 guys big, and then you pick up everybody on as free agents.
Problem is they have like 10, 12 guys, 15 guys to pay. Like, at some point, it's just too much. You're paying Sewell, you're paying Goff, you're paying St. Brown, you're paying like Hutch, you're paying like now you're going to have Campbell. Give Jameer, Campbell, like Branch, you have to make a decision. Laporta, you're gonna have to make a decision.
Oh yeah,
because he's that same draft class. This is his last year now, and he's been banged. Like, he had a great rookie season. Now he's been banged up the last 2 years. So what do you do with him? Like, do they end up letting him go? A lot of decisions. They paid JMO, right? Like, there's a lot. And they paid McNeil, although it wasn't a crazy contract, but still a big contract, like good size contract.
Yeah. Well, we talked a lot about the Lions and a lot about the NFL. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much. Next week, we're going to be diving into the end of our book club. We're going to be talking about Ender's Game. I think that's next week, right? Isn't it? It is.
Should be this week, probably.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the draft. That's fine. The draft is more important than this. It's fine. And then
next week.
We'll be on some sort of schedule. But until then, thanks so much for watching the Roundtable. For the sickest boy over there, Templar, I'm Chino. We love you. We'll see you next time.
See y'all.